malicious intent as Kid Boo did. Do likes food, and he is a bit of a show-off, a trait that both siblings share. But other than that, in a different scenario, they could just be good guys that have been redeemed or something. They literally give us Gamma 1 and 2 vibes, albeit with different personalities. And I do wonder what their fates are going to be in Daima. For now, Aritsu seems to be pleased with Do and completely unaware of Ku's involvement or pretending to not know in order for him not to spill the beans before Tamagami number 1, so he doesn't disqualify them for cheating or something. But one could ask, is that all? Would she create one more to challenge the Z Fighters, or does something exist currently that the margins could gain in terms of a boost? Upgrade them? Use them? As much as we like them, we do have to admit, they don't give off final boss energy, that FBE, and we are quite sure they are not it. There is more to it. The wielder of the evil third eye is probably going to be the big bad here. Daima was quite good, and is still good, at bouncing villains around, making us believe that certain characters are going to be the main villains at certain points, but then turn out not to be. But right now, well, it's really hard to guess who it's going to be. The two successors of the Boo line seem like a safe bet at the time, but for now, I'm not really that sure. They are lacking in a certain malicious sort of streak. And I would say that one of the small issues that we have with the show is that they haven't taken the opportunity to have Majin Buu tag along with them. So we'll probably never see him interact with his siblings. Yeah, even we aren't so fond of the character, yeah, but we do recognize the potential for shenanigans to be had that could occur if they interacted. Also, do keep note that the sample that Arinsu took comes from before the separation of good Boo and evil Boo, meaning that they technically do have a piece from a stronger variant of Fat Boo than the one which is still around, which is a whole other can of worms that I don't think is going to be addressed. I don't think Toriyama's thought that far ahead. Now imagine these interacting with Uber at a later date. Now, of course, we have to remember that they are also in large part Cybermen, so they are not quite like Boo, but close enough. And judging by their power, Marba has done a really good job of bringing them close to the original in terms of strength. If I had to guess, I would say that Ku is about the power of what Good Boo is currently, while Do might be closer to Innocent and Super Boo. Maybe not quite as strong, but very close. But how is this possible? Well, we don't know about everything she added to that cauldron, only the basics, and she somehow was able to create Kid Boo in the first place, so I would guess that some of the power came from certain ingredients. Maybe we'll get the flashback to his creation at some point. That's one of the two flashbacks that we would love to see. That, and Neva learning how to create the Dragon Balls, for obvious reasons. Still, we do think that Ku and Do are going to be a problem for the Z Fighters, and we will definitely see them butting heads with Goku and Ko in the not-too-distant future. But the question is, what is going to be their next step? It does seem to us that in his desperation, Goma might try to forge an alliance with Arinsu. Curiously enough, Degisu is trying to calm the king down, hoping that his sister is merely protecting the Dragon Ball. He is slightly aware that he is deluding himself with that, though, which only shows that he wants to have high respect from the king and also believe in his sister that she's not trying to betray them all. It is rather curious, as despite being super ambitious, Degisu looks like an underachiever, almost like the weakling of the family. But still, I bet you that Goma would be interested in unleashing the Margin siblings on the Z Fighters, and he might be the one with the means to improve them. Remember, whilst we said that Goma is probably not going to be the main villain here, he still is a skilled magician. We were told by the show not to underestimate him, and he had yet to show his full skill set. There's also Marba to consider. We don't know if she didn't put any failsafe into her creations beforehand, remembering her original fluke. But then the next thought is, if she also has her own agenda, and that she might at some point get sick of following Arisu's instructions. But then, what causes her to be loyal? Some sort of kinship? The fear of being exposed as the one who unleashed Boo on the world in the first place? We know that at least initially that wasn't the case, but this sort of passive blackmail that we've witnessed between them might be a reason for a future grudge to be had. But then the question that we have to ask ourselves is, would Marba create something that would be completely under Arisu's control outside of her own scope? That wouldn't be really smart, honestly. And I do think that underestimating Marba could be the final nail in Arisu's coffin, because if there is anyone who can override the imprinting of her two minions, it would